All right, we're back. Episode 118 of the Morse Code Podcast. Dan Morse, Soapy Preup. Of course, always proudly brought to you by our good friends at Cold River Vodka. Make sure to check them out. We'll put all the links in the show notes. Soapy just did a little maneuver to his left to show off the bottles behind him. I'll do the same. They're right behind me. We're not making quite enough money from this partnership yet to afford desks that we can keep closer to us. So that's about as close as the scene you're going to be able to get at this point in time.
Or to be able to record from inside one of the bottles. We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet, but it's good to have goals. It's good to have admiration. So I appreciate you saying that publicly. Mm-hmm. But no, make sure you check out Cold River Vodka and Gin. Of course, we talk about them all the time here locally, but if you check out their social media handles, check them out at coldrivervodka.com. Good opportunities to see if they're available near you. With that being said, let's get right into it. Let's start with a quick touch. And again, this is another notorious episode of recording the night of a game. It's game 2 of the finals tonight. Finals are underway. Bucks, Suns, respectfully. We did our predictions in our group chat earlier. I know I said Suns in 6, and this is prior to game 1. Suns in 6, CP3 MVP. You said Suns in 7 or Bucks in 7?
Suns in 7.
Suns in 7 with Devin Booker as the MVP.
Yeah.
I think our producer Brian Leahy said, I don't know, Bucks and something with
I think he said Bucks in 6 just for the sake of the argument.
Yeah, Bucks in 6 with Glenn Robinson as the MVP, I'm pretty sure. I forget who he said for finals MVP.
I think he said it was him splitting it with Thanasis and Antetokounmpo.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He said Antetokounmpo, but I didn't ask him which one, so I would assume Thanasis as well.
Mm-hmm.
What a cool name. What's the third brother's name? I forget. The kid on the Lakers.
I think it's Kostas.
So I was gonna say, so equally is Greek.
Yeah.
And that's a cool handful of names.
Yeah. Great names.
A real nightmare for a substitute teacher in one of their classes.
Oh God.
Or any human meeting them for the first time, reading their name on paper. What low-key, one of the funniest things about Giannis is truly how stretched out that Antetokounmpo is on the back of his jersey.
Oh yeah.
It's a full sunrise around the 34.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm trying to think, does he have the longest name in basketball?
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be. His jersey is visibly the most recognizable one with a name that stretches the full 90-degree angle or whatever you want to call that, semicircle on the back of his jersey. So yeah, I don't know. And I was thinking about earlier when I mentioned Chris Paul as MVP, I think it's very similar to we were talking last time about household name quarterbacks just by default winning Super Bowl MVP. If you win and you have a respectable stat line, I know Chris Paul had a really nice game 1. I think he'll have a good stat line throughout, but if the Suns win, Chris Paul has to get the MVP, and if he doesn't, oh boy, him and LeBron are going to be pissed if CP3 doesn't get that Finals MVP.
Oh yeah, that whole
LeBron
banana boat.
Maybe more so, but I don't know. Do you think we'll get a 1 game closer tweet every night, or excuse me, a whatever 1 down, 2 down, 2 to go tweet every night? I do. Why not?
Yeah, I think so. Well, nothing else is going on. LeBron's just waiting for Space Jam 2 to premiere. So
just waiting for his friends to win the finals. I kind of hope the Bucks win tonight just to see what his response is, because he'll tweet something. I kind of hope the Bucks win tonight and he says, "Oh, 1 down, 3 to go. Hashtag Greek freak. Hashtag build your legacy. Hashtag next up.
Strive for greatness."
Yep.
Actually, if Giannis went strive for Greekness.
Oh, great one. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My dog seems to be trying to speak Greek in the background. I don't quite know what she's saying.
Not a Giannis fan?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let me think. She broke my train of thought. What do you think tonight?
I think it'll be a closer game, first of all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm gonna say the Suns win again though in a closer game.
I think they will at home. I do. I think that's a nice home court advantage. That place was rocking
Yep.
and rolling on all cylinders. I think the Suns win tonight too. I think they're like a 4.5, 5 point favorite every time I check. Were you surprised to see Giannis come back and play? That was
Very
a true
surprised.
like game time decision. Like I
Yeah.
genuinely didn't. I know he was doing his warm ups against some like I don't know trainer, but I genuinely didn't think he was going to play. I honestly didn't think he should play, but I was surprised he played. And this is kind of why I'm buying more into being pretty comfortable with the Suns to win. I think he looked pretty good. I think he looked pretty normal.
Yeah.
And they still lost. You know what I mean? So if like you have healthy Giannis, and you're losing comfortably, probably a good theme for the series. I still think Suns in 6 or maybe even 7 because the Bucks will get some. I could see Milwaukee wins tonight. It makes it interesting heading back to Milwaukee. But what's tough about playoff series is the home team's supposed to win. You know what I mean? So if Phoenix wins both games, great, but Milwaukee can easily win 2 at home as well. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. By the time you're listening to this, probably be like, I don't know, either the game will probably be over. So you can just, already know who wins and just turn off the episode at this point. So
I wouldn't bother listening here.
I'm certainly not planning on it. But actually, you know what else sucks? What's his name? Who just tore his ACL?
Oh, Dario Saric.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's not like Devin Booker's tearing his ACL, but it's a key player. That's out.
It's not insignificant because they don't have many big players.
No, they certainly don't. They do have DeAndre Ayton, who I think is a stud, and I think we talked about this in our group text as well. He's a really nice value bet for Finals MVP. I think he was like plus 2,500 when we looked going into yesterday.
Yeah,
on that was on I think ONN Sports. So I don't know what he was listed at for like DraftKings or anything. I only follow. I don't follow Lamestream Media anymore. So I just go to the sources.
The right wing odds are always a little jacked up compared
always
to the rest of them.
More ironically enough, always a little more liberal. Yeah, That's where they get you. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's really not much to talk about. I think I was just kind of like playing around with stat the other day. I had to look it up. I was like, I feel like this is probably the first finals in a while without LeBron or the Warriors. And it's the first finals without LeBron or the Warriors since Lakers Celtics, right? I think that was the one before the Heat took over, which is so bizarre to see. It's just, I think it's good. I mean, I'm okay with it because I genuinely think these are two. Phoenix more so than Milwaukee. I think Phoenix is a fun team. I don't know how the ratings are going to turn out. I know there's a whole small market versus big market thing. That's fine, but I think it'll be a good series. I mean, I think the games will be competitive. It's not like game 1 was a stinker. I forget what the final. I think they won comfortably. They won by like 10 or something. I forget exactly what it was, but it was a good game to watch throughout. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I think I like watching guys like this. Is probably the first real time people are going to watch DeAndre Ayton, even Devin Booker, Campaign. I don't know, fucking Chris Middleton, maybe, even if people don't know who that is. So it'll be a good series. It's different. It's kind of like the Raptors Warriors. Like at least that was a little different with no LeBron. But I don't know, I'd like to see it go at least 5 or 6 games. Make it interesting.
Yeah. I'm just enjoying basketball in July.
You like it?
I love it. Love having some round ball in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that.
And then before we know it, next season starts.
No shit. I was going to say, I think they want to go back to a normal season, but if they want to do that, one year they're just going to have to bite the bullet and be like, hey, you guys don't have an off season.
That's pretty much
training camp tomorrow. Yeah. I think training camp starts between game 6 and game 7 of the finals. Pretty much.
I think it starts, between the bronze and gold medal games of the Olympics.
I think the halftime show of Game 6 is the draft, and then Summer League starts halftime of Game 7. Asterisks if necessary.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying
Olympics
to think,
will be fun.
the person who would have the least amount of rest, probably like KD.
Whoever wins. What do you mean?
Oh no, I'm
from
trying to
the
think of the
Olympics.
guys who are on
my
the
bad.
Olympic
My
team.
bad. Yeah, the Olympics too.
Devin
Yeah,
Booker. Never mind. Because he's also on the Olympic team.
That's
and he's
crazy,
currently
bro.
playing.
He must hate that. I hope he just sits on the bench. Like, dude, you can't play Devin Booker. If you're Monty Williams, you got to be like, listen, like, he'll go. He'll rack up some mileage points, but I'd prefer him not to play if he doesn't have to. Meaning he'll probably start and play 45 minutes a night.
Yeah.
It's going to be a weird summer. It's going to be weird games. I don't know. I think there's still some question marks around COVID and stuff, actually. But I saw today, I think it's no fans at any of the events, which is going to blow. That does blow. I mean, I get it, but that stinks, especially for basketball. It's almost like I think we're going to really hype up the NBA finals. Not hype up, but like we're going to enjoy fans at the finals and then get psyched for the Olympics. And it's going to be like bubble 2.0. And it's like, oh, yeah, this did suck last year or like 2 years ago. And these games are going to be like 105-20 at halftime every afternoon. But I don't know. I'll watch it. It'll be interesting.
I think track and field is going to be pretty funny looking without fans because you always get that camera angle that's on the level with the runners.
Oh, yeah.
But to have an empty stadium behind them, like while you're tracking them, not great.
Yeah, that gunshot's going to be lit.
That'll be like the biggest echo. Like,
yeah, it'll be interesting. What else? Yeah, swimming. All the events are going to be a little. I mean, obviously, sports suck without fans. I think we've all come to that general conclusion over the last couple of years. I will say this: at this point, we've both been to a Red Sox game. Baseball is in person is a really good time. I'm really glad to see. I think that was one of the sports that hurt the most last year. That was brutal. Like I know locally the Red Sox stunk, but there's nothing worse than seeing those home runs just hit like an empty chair and like literally bounce 20 times throughout the stadium.
Yeah.
With no one there. Honest to God, the highlight of baseball last year was Tom Brenneman or Nick Castellanos, whoever. Nick Castellanos is probably the better person to put the
whoever you're rooting for.
Yeah, exactly. It'll say a lot about your character who you choose between Brenneman and Castellanos. I think we'll save that for another episode, but Twitter's done a great job this week of deep diving Brenneman-esque moments in Nick Castellanos' resume, which is stellar. Like, I think he should walk into the Hall of Fame just based off. And I'm pretty sure last time I checked, he leads the league in batting average. He should walk into the Hall of Fame, no questions asked, just based on some of the crazy ass shit that he's been involved with. Impeccable timing, I think, is the best way to put Nick Castellanos' career in a nutshell.
You know,
great hitter, better timing. Good hitter, great timing.
Oh yeah. I wonder, because like anytime someone with multiple teams goes into the Hall of Fame, they always wonder like, what's he going to be wearing on his bust or whatever. With him, it's like, which home run do you think he goes in like on his inscription? Which
national tragedy is going to be encrypted on his bust? To your point, there's plenty to choose from. Like I said, we'll get into that later. All right, I'm ready to move on. Question: what was your initial reaction when you heard N'Keal Harry and his agent were demanding a trade?
It was like the Ben Simmons thing that we talked about a few weeks ago, times a million. Like, this isn't how this works.
No.
Trust me, N'Keal.
Read the room, N'Keal.
We've been trying, and we would love to.
I'm glad you said that. That was exactly my first thought. Like, did his agent not think N'Keal Harry's been on the trading block for the last, like, year and a half? Like, bro, trust me. We're also demanding a trade. We just need a little more cooperation from the other party.
Yeah, what if that was the announcement? What if a team started announcing we are
literally fire sale? Yeah, we are requesting to get this guy the fuck out of town ASAP. And the best part, there's a lot of good parts. That's the first thing that came to mind. Obviously, like, bro, like, yes, we would love to trade you, but you stink so bad. It's really hard for a professional billion-dollar franchise to give up an asset to obtain you on your team. That's just not how. You just don't know how supply and demand works. This is like fifth grade. This is like intro to economics in like fifth grade. Mm-hmm. Supply and demand. The N'Keal Harry is definitely handling the demand side of it. There's just nothing there to supply another team, unfortunately. You're a terrible wide receiver. You are just the worst. You might literally be the worst wide receiver in the NFL.
I imagine Belichick's like, dude, we can't find a team, a league, any sort of profession that would be interested in what you have to offer.
I picture like the day that news broke, GMs across the league just seeing like Bill Belichick pop up on their phone. Like, I don't have time to take this one.
Yeah.
This is a waste of my time.
People just ignoring
we are not
his call.
Entertaining the thought.
People across the league just hitting the volume button and like letting it continue to ring to voicemail.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, just a casual like peek down at the phone, hit the side click. Sorry, where were we? Just going back to whatever he was doing. That's a super, super tough look. So anyway, a couple thoughts. Obviously, I was ecstatic. It's a great story. It's a great event to happen. Mm-hmm. It's probably it's by far the best like off-season Patriots story so far this season. So that, and when I saw it, I was like this has to be a fucking, like people get faked all like the fake like NBA Central accounts and like the fake Woj accounts. Yeah. I was like, okay, this isn't real. This is like an onion account or, some kid in his basement trying to like be funny. And I forget who broke it. Was it, the fuck was it? It was like a local guy, wasn't it?
I thought it was the son of another big name reporter.
Yeah, I think so too. It was whatever. I know they mentioned it on Felgrid Mass. They've been playing that clip all year. When whoever this was like, basically like, hey, like if you're thinking about, taking DK Metcalf over N'Keal Harry, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Like, okay, you're right. Like, what? Why not? So my initial thoughts: hilarious. Yes, we're with you, N'Keal. We've also been trying to trade you for the better part of 2 years. Third, it's almost like the Morse Code podcast gods look down on us. Like, hey, like you need content. Here's a layup. I would say he's probably the most talked about athlete on the show over the past like year or so.
It's him and maybe Grant Williams.
Yes. And neither of which are for good reasons, but yes. Oh, I would trade N'Keal Harry for Grant Williams. If I'm the New England Patriots putting together an offense. Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm not kidding. Like we said this before, I think sarcastically. I would trade N'Keal Harry for a non-football related anything. Some PTO for the players, like a new like vending machine in the break room.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
footballs,
a better chef for the team.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. That'd be a huge upgrade.
Maybe a couple extra seats on the team plane.
Maybe like a couple inches of leg room on the team plane. Like I'm not asking for a lot. I think that would lead to more wins than N'Keal Harry. A more well-rested offense landing on the road, that could get you a road game. N'Keal Harry's not winning you a couple extra inches of leg room can definitely help you get a win on the road. N'Keal Harry, I know for a fact, cannot help you get a win on the road.
No.
They're just not happening. Or at home or wherever. But anyway, yeah. And then what was I going to say? And then I think the thing came out. My other thought was like, this has got to be the most like empty based, like when a player demands a trade, it's like, oh shit, like phones are off. Like James Harden, I don't know, Andre Drummond, who else from football? Le'Veon Bell, players where it's like, okay, like now you might as well just be a free agent because everybody's going to be interested in acquiring this guy.
Yeah,
that's got to be the most like empty based trade demand ever. The minimal moving of a needle trade demand ever. And then it comes out today. I think the thing today was It sounds like the ceiling is like a conditional 6th round pick. That's not did you pass the bar exam when you were in law school or no? I forget.
I took it once, somehow passed it twice.
Okay. So if you don't follow along with what I'm saying, just let me know. That doesn't help with leverage, I don't think, on N'Keal, on Team Harry, where it's like, hey, we already know your ceiling is a conditional 6th round pick. There's really not much urgency here for us to move. I would take a conditional 6. I don't even know what that means. I would take whoever they take with a conditional 6th round pick, I think can fill N'Keal Harry's void. Yep. If not outperform N'Keal Harry.
N'Keal Harry demanding a trade, like with their...
It's like us demanding a job at ESPN or like just something like so stupid.
Well, also picture like you think you have a great tweet lined up, you hit send, wake up the next morning, and there's not a single like.
Yeah, I know. That's the worst.
There's no interaction. That's N'Keal Harry demanding a trade. He was like, yeah, I'm going to put my nuts on the table. Wait till you see this, Bill.
Hey, sometimes you got to bet on yourself. Move all the chips to the middle of the table. And just sometimes you fucking flop out. But no, that's a good point. I can picture him and his agent for like days just sitting around, like having like cocktails on the balcony at some hotel. It's been like, you know what, man? Like, this is a huge risk, N'Keal. But like sometimes the biggest victories come from the biggest risks. It's time to bet on yourself. I'm going to hit the button. Are you ready? Like they just go back and forth. They hit fucking send or whatever it came out. They hit send on the press release and then just sit back and like, all right, it's going to get crazy for a little bit. We're going to have, a lot of phone calls. Let me do my job as an agent and we'll get you in the best. We'll weigh all our options and we'll see what happens. And then the story comes out and just sits there. The tweet's a great example. Nothing happens. You keep refreshing, waiting for Bill to be like, I don't even know what Bill's reaction is. I don't think he's pissed. Well, I don't think he's pissed in the sense that like, oh shit, like we might lose N'Keal Harry this year. He's probably pissed in the sense that like, do you realize how many more important things I have on my plate than worrying about our 5th string wide receiver? Oh, that was my other initial thought. I thought about this too. So I think one of the biggest like narratives last of the 2020 Patriots, and we've talked about it, and everyone uses that excuse for Cam, is lack of weapons. And it's true. There's definitely a lack of weapons. Like that offense stunk. No Edelman. James White wasn't himself most of the year. Burkhead was out. So it was like Jacoby Myers, Damiere Byrd, literally no tight ends, everyone, whatever. So you're known as like the worst offensive unit, one of the worst offensive units in the league, if not literally the worst. And you're also probably the worst player on that unit. Like what are we doing? Like, why? I just don't get where any of this is coming from. It's just so strange. And the actual press release was great. It was basically like, I'll pull it up real quick, but it was like, N'Keal Harry, my client coming out of college was a dominant downfield threat. And we just don't feel like his skill set met the opportunity. Like all this is bullshit. And it's like, bro, like you suck. Yeah, this is just such a crazy story, and maybe it hits us a little more locally. Like, is this a national? Do people know who N'Keal Harry is?
I doubt it.
Seriously, if he wasn't a first round,
if he was wide receiver on any other team,
absolutely. Well, the thing is, they know N'Keal Harry because they know he was the guy taken before DK Metcalf and Deebo Samuel and AJ Brown. All these guys who are making fucking Pro Bowls.
Yep.
N'Keal Harry has more penalty yards than receptions. And is now demanding a trade. Like, just get out of here. Like, this is all the trash we've talked about N'Keal Harry. And I'm telling you, I've gotten close. I've been close to like, one more year. They drafted him for a reason. All this bullshit talking me into believing in him. Like, just get lost, bro. Like, pound sand. If we can trade you, great. We probably won't be able to. If it's a conditional 6th round pick, I say just do it. Like, it's not worth the headache. But it's also not a headache. Like, I don't think anyone noticed if he just didn't show up to camp. No. We talked about this last time. He's not, if you take the 2 tight ends, which weren't there last year, so that's already 2 spots above him. Myers, Aguilar, Bird. I don't know anything about that kid from Houston, but I would take that kid from Houston.
Mm-hmm.
James White, Rex Burkhead, Damian Harris. Like he's not going to play here. We can't fit him on the field, rightfully so. So I think if he holds out, I genuinely don't think Josh McDaniels would notice like when running through the offense. So again, this is like the least leverage any players had in a trade demand that I can think of. I genuinely don't know a comparison.
He's like a little kid also getting pumped up for a birthday party and then no one shows up.
I hope that happens. I hope he throws a party and no one shows up. And I said this,
so far.
Yeah, for real. I said this earlier today. I don't even care what happens. I don't care if he goes in the division, and that would be the worst. If he goes to like the Dolphins or the Bills, and it's like, oh boy, like N'Keal Harry gets the Patriots twice a year. Like, can't wait to stick it to him. I don't care if he turns into Calvin Johnson or Randy. I don't care if he becomes a Hall of Famer. Like, this is by far the last straw of me ever giving him another chance, which was already extremely thin. So
not fearful of the N'Keal Harry revenge game.
I don't think he'll play in the N'Keal Harry revenge game.
Seriously, the N'Keal Harry revenge tour.
Yeah, no kidding. I was thinking about this earlier too. He's so say he gets traded. He's obviously not a number one wide receiver anywhere. I can't think of a scenario. Obviously not. That's a no-brainer. I really can't think of any teams off the top of my head where he's the number 2 option. So say he goes somewhere and he's the number at his ceiling is the number 3 option. I don't know. I can live with not having that. But the other thing is too, though, I think I saw like Felger's, someone was talking about this locally. I mean, he is under contract. They don't have to trade him. So if Bill really wanted to, and that's the other thing. It's like, they're like, well, if Bill really wants to stick it to him, he'll just keep him on the team and bury him in the depth chart. That's going to happen naturally.
Yeah.
Like, Bill doesn't give a shit about N'Keal Harry. He shouldn't.
I think he should just swallow. That takes planning. He just is like, no. Well, yeah, he's the worst.
Yeah, he stinks.
I didn't notice him on top of all these other players that could actually play.
Yeah, and I think that was the main thing. They were upset about N'Keal Harry's targets. And I think I just had it on a Pro Football Reference. It was like, I think it was like 80-something targets with 30-something catches. That's terrible. Like, what else do you want me to do?
I saw another one that was pretty good, similar to that, where I don't remember what the number was, but it was something like he was near the league lead in terms of percentage of throws where he wasn't open, AKA, dude, you're supposed to be bigger, stronger, taller than the next guy. That was supposed to be like you creating separation, and he just couldn't get open. So it's like, well, what are we doing?
Yeah. And I'm not going to put that on Cam either.
I was about to say, and we've got you with Cam Newton in 2021. I'm good.
I mean, that's a formula for a Super Bowl. Dude, it's like I'm already over I'm over the quarterback in New England. I think New England is going to win the division. I don't at this point. I don't think quarterback's important, but I think they've done everything right in the offseason to get this team back to being competitive. N'Keal Harry is certainly not part of that equation. So, and this other thing, I thought this was his 4th year for some reason. It's only his 3rd. And I thought that because I can't believe this is only DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, and Deebo Samuel's 3rd year. That's terrifying. So his 1st year, I understand he was hurt. And again, I've always felt like, I feel like people use like injuries as an excuse. Like for a rookie, that's, I guess it's an excuse to not have great numbers, but it's also not a great thing to be hurt right out of college. Speaking of Ben Simmons and Blake Griffin, like that's not a good thing. So he's hurt. So his first season, he played 7 games, had 12 catches for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf does that in a half regularly. Last year, he played in 14 games, only started 9. Was he hurt last year? I don't remember. Or did he just stink?
I can't remember.
He might have been on like COVID protocol or something, but either way, there were 7 games he didn't start. Yeah, last year, 57 targets, 33 catches. Year before, 24 targets, 12 catches. So he catches about half the balls that are thrown to him. That can't be a good stat.
No.
Seriously, you're batting. That's literally a toss-up every time we target N'Keal Harry. 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, one of which I remember specifically was garbage time. Oh, one was garbage time against the Chargers and one was against the Chiefs. I remember both of them vividly. I think his most memorable play was the touchdown his rookie year against the Chiefs that didn't count. That they got that was wrongly ruled. But his most memorable play is a non-touchdown. That
So fitting.
Touchdown.
And I'm pretty sure that played into the seeding at the end of the year because
even though they stunk,
they still finished 12-4, and obviously it would have been 13-3.
Oh, that was a huge game.
Yeah. So
the biggest loss of that year was Week 17 against Miami, or whenever they lost against Miami when they had to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, N'Keal Harry is just. I think Patriots need to suck it up and be like, listen, we absolutely blew this first round pick. We couldn't have. We just blew it.
Mm-hmm.
He's by far the worst Patriots draft pick in this 20 years, right? Especially first rounder. Sony Michel, was he a first rounder? I think he was, right?
Yep.
Granted, Sony Michel is a much better football player than what's his face, N'Keal Harry.
He also had that good run in the Super Bowl and the playoffs.
No, Sony Michel's a good. He's a solid player.
Yeah,
like he's a serviceable. N'Keal Harry's not a serviceable player. Clearly, he doesn't play. But yeah, I don't know. I just. Oh, that was great. I just this whole time, like I was just hoping they cut him, trade him for whoever. And here's the other thing. This is what I meant to say. Anytime a player typically demands a trade, the talk is like, all right, like here's within an hour, you'll have, Bleacher Report, Yahoo, ESPN, someone will have like a top 10 like trade scenarios for this player.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't trades. He could go anywhere for a 6th round pick. Like there's nothing for us to debate. Like N'Keal Harry it's not even a topic of like who we could trade him for, which best fits the Patriots. You're definitely not getting a player.
Oh, no.
I don't think you can't get a player.
Not a living.
And if you
one.
do, you'll get like a special teams player.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm fine with a pick. I'm fine with the unknown. So he might as well be a free agent because it's just whoever's willing to give up a draft pick for him. And honest, I don't even know if that would happen. I think the Patriots are going to take calls on a draft pick, but I can't see Bill spending more than 20 minutes on this. I would just send like a mass email, CC every GM, clip the article, and be like, hey, he wants out of here, 6th round pick. Let me know if you want to do something. First come, first serve. Whoever throws up the first 6th round pick, you get N'Keal Harry. So honestly, I think he will be here at camp. He holds out, and genuinely nothing changes. If at best case scenario, he holds out and that allows someone else to get a spot and he turns out halfway decent, he would have to catch half of his targets and he'd be an upgrade. I'll take that risk.
Belichick dealing with this or like giving it any time is almost like the task at work that you just keep putting to the bottom. Like, I'll deal with this at the end of the week or at the end of the day.
Then it's like Friday at 3. It's like, fuck, I just got to knock this out real quick.
Yeah, I still got to I still
got to trade my first round draft pick from 2 years ago. What a joke. What an absolute clown show. Go to hell. That was my last and final thought when I saw this. Like, go to hell. Like, who are you guys? I guarantee N'Keal Harry's agent has never met anyone on the Patriots. He's never met Bill. He's never met Josh. I bet they thought it was a Ashton Kutcher punked move as well. But I don't know. That's it. I at this point, if you follow this show, if you listen to us, you know how we feel about N'Keal Harry. If anything, I hope we keep him just for content. It's a good stat line to look at every week and talk about for 10 minutes.
I wonder if other players around the league, like with player empowerment being such a big thing in sports, if the other players are like, hey, come on, man. Like even we don't agree with this one.
N'Keal, this isn't how it's done.
You got to be a decent player to do this. We're going to need you to Have more catches than games played in your career, and
That would be
that's at least the minimum requirement.
Yeah,
You're giving us a bad look by demanding a trade, and we never even seen you before.
Nikhil, there's levels to this stuff. You gotta oh God. And he's like 22 years old. It's his third year in the league, and he's demanding a trade because he needs more of an opportunity. Go ahead. Go the hell ahead. Go anywhere. Literally go anywhere. Go to a better run franchise organization. Oh boy. I hope he goes to Tampa. I hope he goes to Tampa and we draft someone in the 6th round who's, I'm not going to say Tom Brady, but like we draft a starter with that 6th round pick. That would be great.
Oh yeah.
Anyone who can play football. I hope we use that pick and draft like the first like female player in pro football, and she plays safety and like fucking knocks N'Keal Harry out in a game.
I was going to say that his name will forever be tied to like if we then drafted a good player in his place, his name will always just be brought up in the shadow of that other person.
I already said my favorite Patriots player is whoever we draft with that conditional 6th round pick. Big fan. I'll buy his jersey the day we pick him. I'll pay the extra money to get a customized jersey and make it.
I'm on board.
Yeah, you in? All right.
Yep.
We got to get that guy on the show. That's our next like level up goal. Whoever the Patriots draft with the pick they get for N'Keal Harry, we have to get him on the show.
Done.
I'll sell my house. Anyway, let's move on to probably our last segment of the night. We're going a little long here, but I do want to touch on this. We wanted to touch on this back during the Hawks series, but we've only been going once a week, so we haven't really had time. You put together a really nice little Lou Williams montage, or basically just like really good talking points around the Atlanta Hawks 6th player, pretty much. So I'll pass this one over to you. Let's talk a little. Give Lou Williams his flowers while he's still alive.
Yeah. So it came to my mind because I think it was game 4 of the Hawks Bucks series, he dropped 21, and he's been in the league for
ever.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. He was drafted.
There's pictures of him and Iverson on the Sixers.
Yep. He was also, I didn't realize this, he was a 2nd round pick, 45th overall. So like, wow. What a career. Yeah. To still be playing and be like a big contributing factor. But I just remember that there's just a lot of random shit about Lou Will that is a very unique story. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, he dropped 21 in that game. He's been, let me just go back to that list. He's been a 3-time winner of the 6th Man of the Year, which I can't see
on
anyone
multiple
like
teams too, right?
Soon.
Was it 3 different teams?
Yep.
What, Philly?
So. Oh, LA? He may have won multiple of those on the Clippers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He's scored.
Is he the best 6th man of all time? He has to be, right? Him and Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, I was going to say those two are the two that I always think of.
Me too.
He's played on like a few cool teams. So he's played for the Clippers and Lakers. So LA, played for the Hawks, got drafted by Philly, played in Houston, another big city. So again, like he just lives a cool life.
Sure.
Publicly acknowledged love triangle, which was interesting. I remember that came out a few years ago where there's a picture of him with 2 girls at a baseball game, and it was like they were named. And so this was a whole thing that was like, oh, wow, this guy.
Like they're both his girlfriend?
Yeah. 2 girlfriends, 1 Lou.
1 cup.
Mm-hmm.
2 girlfriends, 1 Lou. Yeah.
Drake wrote a whole song about him, 6th Man. Which apparently I need to go back and listen to that song, but it talks about him. So number
he
one,
was a Raptor too, right?
Huh?
He was a Raptor at one point too, no?
Yeah. So that's another cool city that he played for. And so it was about his time on the Raptors and his career, but also like about his girlfriends and stuff. So anytime to get mentioned in a song is one thing, but to have a song about you by Drake,
very few.
Very, very few and very cool.
Him and Kobe pretty much, right? I know
Yeah.
Lil Wayne had the Kobe song. Shaq had a Kobe song. But yeah.
Shaq probably had a Shaq song, I assume.
Yeah.
And then in terms of things like being named in his honor, he had the infamous trip to Magic City during the bubble last year,
Big fan.
where I was looking this up. He has some wings named after him. Lemon Pepper Lou is the wings type that he had named after him there. But apparently that wasn't new as of last year. That's been a thing for a while.
Yeah.
The public just didn't know about it until last summer.
Right.
So those
Yeah,
are
I would say Magic City got a lot of publicity last year. Big time.
a ton, and
Right.
a lot of it due to him.
Yep.
So
Where did he go to school? He was drafted at
Louisville,
19.
I think.
Oh, that'd be awesome if that's true.
Let's see.
I got his NBA. What the fuck? Where's his? I think he might have been out of high school.
Oh shit.
Yeah. There's nothing about college on NBA basketball reference, rather. If Lou Williams went to Louisville, then that's just another. That's too good to be true. No, I think he's out of high school. He was 19.
Yeah. All right. And where that? Oh, he's from Georgia.
Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, Philly, Atlanta, Toronto, Lakers for a couple years. He only plays in like cities where he can get turned up.
I mean,
Gotta respect,
I respect it. However the fuck he managed this, he's played in probably the coolest NBA cities outside of.
Big time.
I assume he'll sign with the Heat next year.
I was just gonna say he's gonna wrap it up in Miami. Yeah. No, I'm trying to think. Like, I wish I could pull like just filter it by like sixth man stats, because if he's been a consistent sixth man, which I think he has based on minutes played, yeah, he's definitely right. He's never had his highest minutes played was 32.
His highest
And
game started was
Clippers.
38.
Oh, started. Duh. Yeah. No shit. That'd be the stat to look at. Yeah, 38 with Philly way back when. Yeah, so he's a perennial six man.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's comfortably averaging upper teens every year.
Damn.
5 or 6 assists. Yeah, he's definitely the GOAT sixth man. He's known as like the sixth man. It's got to be him and Crawford. Was Manu a sixth man for a while?
He was, yeah,
Right.
which was weird because it was like, all right, even when he was six man, he was playing like starters minutes.
Yeah, good point.
Then
That's
again,
why
same for
that's why I was
Louisville.
looking at minutes. Like Jamal Crawford, minutes played 38, 32, 37, 39, 38, 38, 35. Yeah, you're a starter, bro. But again, if you pull up like Jamal Crawford, he has seasons, games started 70, 73. That must include, 82. Duh. 73, 67, 80, 65, 54. Lou Williams has multiple seasons with 0 starts and like 18 points a game. So
Yeah.
I do think Lou Williams is definitely the guy for sixth man. I'm pulling up Manu right now.
That's another thing that they should name after
And
him,
Manu
honestly.
starts way too many games too. Nah, Lou Williams is a true sixth man.
They should name the award after him because I'm looking that year, the 2017-2018 year.
Oh, he's
He
not
played
in the Hall of
33 minutes. Dude, he averaged 23 a game as a non-starter. That's crazy.
Yeah. Nah, he is the sixth man. Like he can come off and just that's what a sixth man should be. Like I feel like a sixth man is either someone comes in to just like keep the team afloat, or someone like Lou Williams or Jamal Crawford or Manu comes in and it's like, okay, this is truly a sixth starter. Like this is the sixth man off the bench, but Manu was obviously the third guy on the Spurs on a dynasty. I thought he was in the Hall of Fame. He's not in the Hall of Fame yet.
Probably just hadn't been retired.
Not
for
been
long
eligible.
enough. Yeah, I don't think he's
He
been
played
out
till
of the league.
damn.
long
Yeah,
enough.
he played till 2018. That's what's crazy about those Spurs teams. And I know Tony Parker fucked it all up by going to the Hornets for 1 year, but Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, David Robinson, like all playing on the same franchise for so long nowadays is bonkers.
Oh yeah.
Like that's never going to happen again. It's really not. Like, I don't know if we've talked about this too much in depth, but just the way like NBA, it's already started, like with the Olympics, like rumors. Like, there's no, I used to think like Steph had a shot, Dame had a shot. There's no chance. Steph, maybe. Dame, no chance. Like, I don't see that happening ever again. Dirk was probably the last real one.
Yep.
Maybe Steph. Maybe even Draymond. Draymond's definitely going to go somewhere. Clay, I could see going somewhere. Tatum, unfortunately, is probably going to go somewhere. It's just, it's not going to happen. Yeah, Anthony Edwards is probably going to go somewhere. Zion would literally kill someone to go somewhere.
Yep. I assume Zion just plays like 2K at home and puts himself on the Knicks and just is like,
is my player as himself.
Yeah.
And just fast forwards through all like the high school stuff. Yeah. Do you remember when you remember Zion Williams high school like viral clips?
Oh my God.
Boy, oh boy, that was not a good look for white kids. Not a good look for me and my people. Because he played at like a somewhat, didn't he play at like a prep school? I don't remember him playing many like, I don't remember him playing like Oak Hill and St. Vincent, St. Mary's. I remember him playing like whatever, some average, like a literal public high school, like an average high school team. Yeah. That's why I didn't really give too much hype into him being an NBA player. I was like, all right, this guy's, going to be a dunking viral sensation. I thought it was going to be more like, not Ricky Williams.
Ricky Davis?
Ricky Davis. It's like a crazy viral dunker. But then I'm like, you know what? He's actually the size of a fucking U-Haul truck. And he's extremely athletic. So yeah, I could see this going somewhere. But yeah, those videos weren't a good look. Kids like literally posting him up and him just like leaning back and them just falling to the ground like a wrestling flop and him just dunking on whoever came for help defense. Yeah, he's got to get the hell out of New Orleans.
And when that specific white kid checked into the game, it was
great video.
Was kind of walking around like clapping, trying to get his team up and hyped. And the way that Zion looked at him was like the Nick Young gif with like all the question marks, like or like the Russell Westbrook when he was pointing to the crowd where he was like, yeah,
I'm open. I'm available if you need 2 points. I don't know what you're drawing up, but I'm here. But yeah, go ahead, Lou Williams.
So those are all the feathers in Lou Williams' cap. As we said, a very unique.
No cap.
Those are the pros in his career. He's had a couple downfalls, or at least like.
Well, before you move on to like the other stuff, like Lou Williams is a great basketball player, and it's my thought has always been like Jamal Crawford, Manu Ginobili. Like where's the line for like this guy should come off the bench? Like they could start anywhere. Obviously. Yep. I'm curious like where that like strategy comes in. Because like if you look at like Manu, for example, who was starting over Manu like during those championship years? Like fucking Bruce Bowen,
Patty Mills.
Like, what are we doing? Like if this guy's this good, wouldn't you be that much better if he just like started the game and played more minutes?
Yeah.
But again, if you can have it's tough because it's like yeah, if you could have Kevin Durant come off the bench, that'd be great. Like he would just literally, if you had Kevin Durant matching up with twos, then yes, he would average 80 points a game. But it just made me think, are those numbers inflated because they're often playing against twos or like backups?
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably, there's definitely.
We need stat nerds. If you're listening and you're a stat nerd, help us out. But no,
I think they
still play starters, but they still play starters minutes. So I guess it all balances out.
Yeah, and I also think they do come into the game at first when the other second string is on the floor. And I'm sure there's probably just a conversation of like these guys are some of the few guys that are willing to do this, and hence
good point.
That's why they stand out.
Yeah, good point. My other thought was like, we talk about like if a player was like dead set on stat padding to win 6th player of the year, they just make a deal where it's like, all right, like Tim Duncan's going to take the tip. Then you're going to call timeout and put me in. And I'm going to play 40 minutes and average like 30 and just win 6th man of the year every single year.
Yeah.
It's all about strategy. I don't know.
If I'm not in the game by the 11-minute and 48-second mark,
Then I'm demanding a trade.
yeah, it's problems.
Yeah. Do you think there's a chance N'Keal Harry goes to Clutch? That'd be awesome.
I couldn't imagine a worse way to like submarine your business.
He sends Rich Paul an email saying like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm open to hearing pitches from other agencies."
For some reason, he posts the Jordan facts. I'm back and tags Rich Paul.
I'm free. I'm ready to talk to other agents.
Yeah, they'd be like,
"That's a great idea. I can't wait till someone trades for N'Keal Harry so we can post the I'm back meme on the internet." I'm gone. I'm fucking out. Go ahead, Lou Williams, a real athlete.
So yeah, that's the good stuff. Some of the bad or like crazy stuff about him. First of all, the strip club thing that we mentioned last year, or that we mentioned earlier about the bubble. So he goes to Magic City, and the reason he was even excused to leave the bubble was he was supposed to be going to a funeral for a family friend, someone who apparently I thought I read that they like financially took care of his family for a good amount when he was growing up.
Yeah.
And so he went there, and he then was seen. I don't know if he was seen or whatever. He left Magic City, a famous strip club, and he told everyone that the reason that he went there was to get some wings.
Sure.
It came out later that he wasn't there just for the wings. The aforementioned Lemon Pepper Lou. He did get a dance. I was able to confirm that.
Yep.
The funniest part, though, of this story is obviously like him and the team have to handle all the questions when he got back, and like everyone, like, remember a player got disciplined for going to pick up like delivered food to the bubble.
Yes.
I think it was someone on the Rockets. Meanwhile,
Well, then it was Daniel House.
Yeah.
Tried to bang his COVID tester. Yes.
I got something you could test.
Yeah, right.
Check my pulse here.
Boy.
So this is in the notes. So while he was in he had to quarantine for 10 days, and it said, during that time, Williams used a treadmill and a stationary bike in his room. He also watched practices via Zoom, and even remarked one time about the need for the team to pick up its conditioning. Boy. Maybe it's just me, but that seems a little ridiculous. Like, hey guys, why don't you step it up a little bit? It looks like people are kind of coming back slow on defense here.
As he's on the sideline, like eating wings out of like a white styrofoam delivery.
Yeah, he's got a mask that just has a hole cut out so that he can have his wings. It's like, hey, dude, why don't you shut the fuck up?
Yeah, I picture like going back to The Last Dance, those scenes of like Rodman in his pajamas, like on the exercise bike, like on the sideline, coming back from a bender in Vegas. Oh man, yeah, I didn't know that part. That's hilarious.
Imagine hearing that, or like you get back to your room after a long practice and he missed 2 important games. Williams. Yeah, and then you get a text message.
Did he miss games?
He missed 2 games. Yep.
2 of the 8 regular season games.
Yeah, so he missed a quarter of the bubble season.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Yeah, you come back to your room.
25% of the season. Oh, Louis, that's hilarious. Yeah,
I love how they try to spin this shit too. I remember,
weren't Harden and Westbrook COVID too?
Yeah.
Did they miss games?
Fucking team. Yeah, I think they did.
God, the Rockets. What a team. That team needs a 30 for 30. The last year of the Rockets. All missions fail.
This is another funny part. They always just try to spin it so positively when clearly it's like they get asked a question and they have no idea how to respond without just being negative. Mm-hmm. So Williams said he just attacked it with a positive mind. They make it sound like he fucking broke his leg and was coming back from like a traumatic situation.
Yeah, you couldn't not go to a strip club. That was your injury designation.
He goes, I'm always a throw a guy on the floor guy. I needed it. I don't know if I was going to be able to just watch that game with spending the last 10 days by myself and being isolated watching so much good basketball. It's like, oh, so you wish you were out there, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. So
man.
that was that. The other crazy story is it's a pretty short article that we'll put in the show notes, but he talks about in 2011 when he was playing for the Sixers. Basically, he was driving home and he must have been going through like a bad part of town or something. Let me pull this up.
Yeah.
And a guy approached him with a gun, and Lou Williams was like stopped at a red light. Guy approached him with a gun, tapped on the window, and the quote from Lou Williams is, "A guy tried to rob me, but decided not to because of whatever I do in the community. He's a Lou Williams fan, so he didn't rob me." Williams told the paper that he was driving his car. The man began to approach with a gun drawn and then knocked on the driver's window. There's crime everywhere. I was debating whether to pull off to help the guy. The gun was already out. He did all the talking, and we came up with a solution before I could really say much. I treated him to McDonald's. This also happened on Christmas Eve, or actually maybe, where was it? Yeah, Christmas Eve. So long story short, this guy goes up to like rob him with a gun, and Lou Williams was like, "No," and also, "Are you hungry?"
Yeah. It works.
A very bizarre story. If you read the ESPN article, it's short. It's short and it's to the point. And it talks about how I guess he's done like a lot of community and charity work throughout his career, including Philadelphia, and that's why he thinks he was able to kind of talk this guy out of robbing him. But imagine being able to talk yourself out of that situation, and then
getting killed.
Yeah, and then taking your assailant to dinner.
Great story. Great way to celebrate the holidays,
dude. I can't think of a crazier like roller coaster rags to riches.
I'm trying to think. The last year Christmas Eve, I think I watched like a Christmas movie with my family and had like some hot chocolate. Maybe wrap some late night gifts. I definitely wasn't held at gunpoint and then split a 20-piece with said marksman at McDonald's. So it's just two different worlds.
I also just wonder how quick.
We've also never won Sixth Man of the Year before.
Well, imagine if this somehow took place over like 20 minutes, where the guy knocks on your window, has got a gun, and Lou Williams just says like, "No, thank you, I'm not interested."
Yeah, I'm not interested. Thanks. Just rolls up his window.
However, I've got an idea. If you got some time,
I was gonna grab a bite. Yeah, Magic City's closed for the holidays, so I was gonna go to a neighborhood joint down the street.
That's just a great story, and
it is a good story.
It's 10 years old is
wholesome
crazy
story.
Too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I meant to look at. How old is Lou Williams at this point? Oh boy,
like 34, 35.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Like, how many more years does Lou Williams have? Is he under a contract?
The question that everyone's asking.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's been in the league forever. Never made an all-star team. 3-time Sixth Man of the Year. I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, he's not a Hall of Famer, obviously, right?
I don't know anymore with the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no shit. I'm looking at Manu. Manu's a Hall of Famer, right?
He will be, yeah.
2-time All-Star. He's only won 2 All-Stars, though. 4-time champ. 2-time All-NBA. Yeah, that'll do it.
Plus, it's just basketball, so like they got to take into account his international shit.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah. I played in Italy. Yeah, that's a good point. He was an old ass. He was always old. That's weird when those guys, it's like Ichiro. Like his rookie year, Ichiro, I think, was like fucking 40 or something like that in Major League Baseball. That's why I like Ohtani. I think Ohtani is he's true to age, isn't he?
Yeah, he's only like
He's not like low-key
27, I
50.
think.
Yeah.
But before I forget,
Yeah, go ahead.
the other charitable aspect of Lou Williams, I guess you'd call it that. The other story I'll put in there is that in 2018, he accepted one of the worst contracts in NBA history. Some people argue, including myself,
Okay.
which is that. So I'll just read it. Last year, Clippers offered Lou Williams a contract extension worth $8 million annually that wasn't even fully guaranteed. Clippers executive, aka his executive, Jerry West, predicted Williams would have drawn $11 million per year on the open market, aka he could have made $3 million more a year if he had just signed with someone else. Williams agreed with that assessment. Williams also signed the 3-year extension. I can't wait around, he said. Sometimes you got to make decisions for yourself, do what's best for your family, and hopefully everything else falls into place. I can't imagine another NBA player who's not a star. Like a star passing up money, I can understand because they're probably at the point where they can make that money up in however many avenues. And like a LeBron or something is taking less money so that his team can sign another star player. But if you're Lou Williams, why the fuck would you pass up a 3-year extension, so an extra $9 million on your contract? Basically, he essentially signed a 3-year deal instead of a 4-year deal. If you think about it, 3 years at 8 instead of 3 years at 9.
Yep.
And let me see here.
Does Lou Williams have a family?
He's got a few kids. He's got 3 kids,
he can't
I
be.
believe.
Is he married and have like kids?
No.
Okay, good. That makes sense.
It was only recent that the second girlfriend was like, no, I'm out of this.
Yeah, okay. He does have a big family. I'll give him that. You're right. Good point. A lot of girlfriends, a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Good for him.
So that story is also another just not talked about enough. You're not going to find many role players or 6 men of the year who are passing up just extra money like that.
No, Lou Williams is a real one. You see that story that came out about Le'Veon Bell? I think it was on Barstool. He's another notorious. He has like a bunch of. He's like a six different women type of guy.
Out of wedlock, no less.
Yeah.
Blasphemy.
So look at him, Shohei Ohtani. Yeah, Ohtani's 27. I think he's like a true 27. 23 is rookie year. He won rookie of the year. I don't even remember that. 2018.
I never heard of him until this year.
I knew of him last year and the year before. I forgot he won rookie of the year, though. I don't get how the Angels have just always stunk. And they've always had like really good players. Or maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just Mike Trout. But they always stink. He's got 32.
Oh, wait. Is this his second full season with them?
No, this is his 4th year.
Oh, damn.
Won rookie of the year in 2018. 2019 full year, but I don't even know how to interpret his stats because it's like I think his at bats seem low, but I would assume that's because he's a starting pitcher every 5 days as well. Hold on, games by position. This would make sense.
So I didn't know this. I think I heard this correctly on the Red Sox broadcast. They said, I think the day before he pitches is the day that he gets off from playing the field.
That would make sense.
Fair.
But that's still bizarre if you think about it, because a normal pitcher, he plays baseball once every 5 days. Yeah. Shohei Ohtani starts and pitches well, and then even if he takes 1 day off, that means he plays position baseball 3 to 4 times in between.
Yeah.
And also like plays very well. He's the best hitter in baseball. Like
that's what people forget to mention.
It's really hard to interpret like his stats and how good he is, because I think it's really cool he went to the All-Star game as both positions. And the funniest part is comparisons to like Babe Ruth. And then you'll see guys on Twitter just like post all the time about like, you know, like Babe Ruth about like 182 like in like baseball these days, or like like Babe Ruth would like shit his pants watching like Jacob DeGrom warm up in like the bullpen.
Oh yeah.
It is bonkers, bro. And like he reminds me of like those golfers, like I don't know, like Dustin Johnson or someone who just looks like or like Jordan Spieth, who just looks like a normal guy, and then just can drive the ball 350 yards casually.
Mhm.
Like looking at Shohei Ohtani, and I guess you do the same thing about Ichiro, but Ichiro wasn't a power hitter. Like you look at this guy, and that is not who I would pick as like the league leader in home runs. It's just so crazy.
Yeah.
And also he's a starting pitcher every 5 days. Like it's almost like he leads the league in home runs, and like his side hustle is like an all-star caliber starting pitcher. It's so weird because I always thought of him. I don't know. I know we're not like the biggest baseball guys, and we probably have some listeners who are more baseball than us, like Leahy. But prior to this year, I always thought of him as a pitcher before a hitter. Now we just casually, he's definitely I would say perceived as a hitter over a pitcher if he leads the league in home runs. But I'm just like looking at it from a standpoint from the Angels, like, are the Angels really just going to bury another like generational all-time great player? Like it's crazy. Like he's already more popular than Trout, I think. I know Trout's been hurt, but it's like you have maybe the two best players in baseball just buried in your bullshit franchise organization. That stinks.
Oh yeah.
That's terrible. I know Trout just got like $500 million to stay in LA, which is fine, but I don't know, man. I think Ohtani is too rare of a talent to be stuck in that dog shit place. I don't. The last like memorable Angels game I remember is the World Series against the Giants with Vlad Guerrero Sr. like 20 years ago. And I think they've caught the Sox, I think, in a few first round playoff series. I remember. And I think they've all been sweeps. Like they weren't competitive at all.
Yeah,
like that
it's
is
always a
so
fucking
bad.
joke.
Like they're a cool team. They have a cool stadium. They have cool, colors and uniforms, but they're always like towards I think the Rangers are like one of the worst teams in baseball, and they're second to last in the division behind the Rangers or in front of the Rangers. And it's just tough.
I'm trying to figure out
baseball quota for the year.
I'm trying to figure out how much he pitched, and I don't.
I have heard this argument. I think I've heard arguments that like him being an all-star as a pitcher is a stretch. I mean, he has decent numbers. I think he has like a 3-something ERA. Hold on.
This is crazy. So
I don't know how to filter this website to get his pitching stats. Hold on. Go ahead.
In 2018, he's 4-2, so he pitched in 10 games. So as a partial season. 2019, I don't see any pitching stats, and then 2020 was the COVID season.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, this makes it even crazier that he's this good at pitching 2021.
Okay, right. But even if like Barry Bonds pitched one game, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
This guy's a routine starter leading the league in home runs. And from like an optics perspective, I do agree. The only comparison is Babe Ruth. I can't think of a more like different comparison from Shohei Ohtani to Babe Ruth. Depending on who you ask, there's some people who think Babe Ruth isn't all that we think he was from a racial standpoint.
Looking here, yeah, he only pitched twice last year.
Really?
In the shortened season, yeah.
He only had 2 starts? Oh, wow. Yeah, I honest to God, like, if any of the sports, like, chalked up a mulligan season due to COVID, it was definitely baseball. I don't think anything mattered from baseball last year.
Fine with it,
the Red Sox
another LA
stunk,
team winning.
and now they're great. Yeah, exactly. We said this last time, like, or somewhat recently. The one World Series the Dodgers won during this quote unquote fucking dynasty was last year, and now they blow. I don't think they're going to win the World Series for a long time. I know we're coming on time. We had some Twitter stories we were going to follow. I think we should save those for our Tuesday episode. We might have a friend join us because at this point, I'll be honest, like once the finals wraps up, it's going to be pretty slow in sports. I guess we can follow the N'Keal Harry holdout. I'm curious to see where that story goes. I kind of want them to hang on to him a little longer just to see what he does. Like, I genuinely think like he's visioning his holdout like Aaron Rodgers or like Ezekiel Elliott or someone like that, where it's like, bro, no one gives a shit. Like we can run practice exactly how we want to do. We might have to ask we might have to ask Matthew Slater to run a couple of routes, but that's pretty much the worst case scenario. We might have to ask Gunner to step it up a little bit in the wide receiver room, but I think we'll manage. If for some reason you think this is going to lead to us giving you more money, I think we're straight here. I think we can handshake emoji and call this a day.
Just imagining him like putting his phone down on Friday night, being like, all right, well, this is going to blow up. I'm going to go have some fun. And I'm sure when I check this on Monday, like, I'm going to have so many disconnect calls.
From work I need a better work-life balance.
I need a break.
Yeah.
Comes and back, he's zero notifications.
Come back to see a Giardi clip of like Gunnar Olszewski burning someone on like a slant road. Honestly, I would take that all day. I'd put a Gunnar over N'Keal Harry.
I was going to say their wide receivers coach, Troy Brown, is probably still better than N'Keal Harry.
I would trade N'Keal Harry today for Troy Brown today in a heartbeite.
Oh, and then fire N'Keal Harry. Do not let him coach the receivers.
Oh Christ, no. I think I'm trying to think where I draw the line of like who I would trade N'Keal Harry for in regards to like retired Patriots receivers. Troy Brown, yes. Randy Moss, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Wes Welker, sure.
Would you trade him for present day Aaron Hernandez? If you had to.
He'd serve as a hell of a decoy. DBs would be like, what do I do?
How do I guard this?
Do I leave him wide open? You never know. Yeah, I don't know. David Patton, Deion Branch. I would take Deion Branch today.
Yep. Reggie Wayne in his one day with the Pats.
I would take Reggie Wayne in a heartbeat.
Joey Galloway.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the line is either Jabbar Gaffney or
I'd still take Gaffney.
Really?
Yeah.
No questions asked? Okay.
No questions asked. Rashae Caldwell, I'll take
That's what I was thinking. Rashae Caldwell. That's what I was thinking. Rashae
Dante
Caldwell might be the line.
Those guys were great.
Oh, Dante Stallworth, definitely.
They could actually work with a quarterback.
Yeah. How old do you think Dante Stallworth is right now? 38 or something?
I think he's older than that. I'd say mid-40s, 45.
He's 40.
Yeah, I'll take him.
Yes, I would take Dante Stallworth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on his Wikipedia page. I would take his sibling, Larry Stallworth. Let's see what this guy's stats are. Oh, Christ, yeah. Ooh, Larry Stallworth. Stallworth Larry on Instagram. Hold on.
Is he available?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
There we go.
On the landline. Oh, yeah. Yep. I would take Larry Stallworth. No questions asked.
Lombardi number 7.
Larry Stallworth in a conditional 6th-round pick. Let's ink this and let's
sign it.
Let's get going. We got banners to hang. We'll wrap up here. Serious question. Where whether N'Keal Harry stays or goes, where do you think the Patriots, like, what are your outlooks on the Patriots this year? Say Cam's the starter.
Yeah. I know you said you think they'd win the division.
I do.
I think that the Felger and Mass show, like, as a consensus, when they went through game by game and were like, this is a win, this is a win.
Yeah, I haven't looked that deep into it.
Huh?
I haven't looked that deep into it at all.
I think that they agreed that they'd go like 11-5 or 12-4, something crazy.
Definitely.
11-5, so absolutely. Fuck it. I'll say I'm on the bandwagon, and without looking into this at all, I think the defense is going to be good with guys who miss games coming back, especially Hightower.
Let's do it real quick. Let's go like the first few games. Week 1, at home against the Dolphins, they can win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Week 2, at the Jets, they can win that game. 2-0. Week 3, we all know what week 4 is. Week 3, Oh my God, do they have a bye? No, Saints. Saints at home. They can win that game.
Yeah.
Remember, it's Jameis Winston Saints this year.
Yep.
Week 4, I think, is Tampa, right? Yep. They'll lose that game. They can lose that game.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots at Texans. That's a win. Patriots hosting the Cowboys. Competitive, but they can win that game. Jets, they can win that game. So by week 8, halfway in the season, they play at the LA Chargers. There's a very good chance they can be 6-2. Yeah. Lose to Tampa, lose to either Dallas or maybe the Chargers. They do have that is a pretty bullshit first half schedule. They play the Jets twice. They play the Jets twice already. And then did they play the Bills yet? I forget.
Didn't sound
Bills are good.
Yeah.
It all depends if Cole Beasley is available. Cole Beasley can get through without a vaccine, then it's a whole different story. And if we have to face a vaccinated Cole Beasley, I don't think he's going to be right mentally.
Mm-mm.
According to him, I think he's going to be like a robot or like explode or something. So I don't know. It'll be tough. I think 11-5 can win the division. Or actually, no, it's 17 games this year. So 12 games can probably win that division. What were the Bills last year? Were they 11-5, 13-3? They actually had a very
12
good
or 13.
Year. Yeah, hold on. Buffalo Bills 2020. Patriots were 7-9, right?
Yep.
Sheesh. Okay. 13-3. That's tough. That's got to be the peak. Because I don't know. I think if Josh Allen equals his year last year, that'd be good. I don't see him getting that much better from last year. So it'll be a good season. And again, I think it'll be Cam. And you know how we feel about Cam. I don't think he's great, but at least he has something to work with now. Like if he can't work with a pretty good roster, then I don't know. You go to Mac Jones, you go to Jarrett Stidham or something, but I think they can put together at least. I think the floor would be 10 wins. I really do. I mean, they have a good roster. They have a good defense and a good team. And hopefully, knock on wood, N'Keal Harry gets his act together and they sign him to like a 20-year extension and we get our number one wideout back. But
heard an interesting take from Tom Curran today. He was talking about the wide receiver core. And he said that, and he knew that he was giving a hot take. He's like, I'm going to go out on a ledge and say this. I think Nelson Aguilar it was over 1,200 yards. I want to say like 8 touchdowns. Basically, he said that Aguilar is going to light up Gillette Stadium. So who the hell knows? Maybe we have the best offense in the league.
I have high hopes for Aguilar. I think Aguilar is the type of receiver who can warrant like rejuvenation somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like N'Keal Harry wishes Nelson, like all the shit Nelson Aguilar gets, N'Keal Harry like wishes he was Nelson Aguilar. He was a top, I don't think he was first round. Maybe he was first or second round wide receiver. What really killed Nelson Aguilar's stock was that Twitter video of that guy, like at the fire, like or whatever. It's been an absolute like downhill for Nelson Aguilar since then. So yeah, I think he's probably the number. I don't know. Do you think Jacoby Myers is the number one? I think it's Myers outside the tight end. I think they're going to go to a very heavy 2 tight end system.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Aaron Hernandez again. But outside of that, Myers is solid.
Are you still trying to get him on the show?
Nah,
is that what you're doing here?
He's not responding to any of my messages.
God.
So what are you gonna do?
Talk about a cold shoulder. The coldest.
Kind of. Yeah, he's really left us hanging for a lot of our emails we've sent him. Oh, anyway, well, now we're canceled. So there goes all our sponsors. But no, I like Nelson Aguilar. We'll see. Anyway, we'll wrap up here. Again, there were some great things going through Twitter this week that we will hit on next week. And whatever happens between now and then, I think we're going to try to get back to our 2 a week schedule.
Ooh,
Should have some fun guests coming up soon too. So anything from you before we sign off?
I
Oh, go to the
did.
merch store too and buy some merch.
Yes, buy
Our
some
rent,
shirts.
my mortgage depends on it.
The people don't know that you and I recently linked up in Maine.
Yes, that was something else.
Yes, we do hang out when the opportunity is afforded to us. So buy some
You met
shirts.
my son for the first time.
I did. I would say he met me more than I met him.
Yeah, he had a lot of questions. We had a lot of uncomfortable conversations after you left, but
That's to be
was
expected.
Good. It was good. It's good for him.
Oh, a Morse code cameo was made by me on the Real Matt Money's podcast. Check him out on Twitter at. Let me just make sure I have his handle correctly for when this show comes out. But we had a good time talking about some Celtics for the most part. Yeah, at the Real Matt Money with no E in the word the. So check that out.
Oh, okay. Respect. Nice. Cool. All right. So that's that. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.